Get ready for an evening of laughter and fun.
Yeah, world-famous entertainer is heading to the Hard Rock in Sacramento.
Heading to the Hard Rock in Sacramento on my birthday, September 24th. George Lopez joining the show right now. George, how are you?
Yeah.
Good. Happy birthday. I'm always a belated in wishing happy birthdays, but happy birthday in advance.
Oh, very cool.
George, let me ask you a question. You've been doing comedy for a long time. You work all the time. I was curious about how it works. Do you keep notebooks and you write down stuff that you think would be funny, or do you have a thing on your phone, or is it just all in your head?
Yeah, that's a good question. I asked Chris Rock maybe 20 years ago how he did it, and he started doing it on his phone. So I do it on my phone, and I have some notebooks around. I saw Larry David on a plane. He still writes with like pen to paper because he said it's better for his mind. And so I adopt kind of both, but now that I'm much older, I'll see a joke and then I'll also say, remember to pick up after myself, or remember to go.
And the reason I ask this, I do a daily dad joke, so if you have any rejected jokes you don't want to use, please send them to me.
Yeah.
I was in Baghdad during my daughter's childhood, and then somehow, miraculously, we created a show from a TikTok, and now we're in our third season. So, in hindsight, my reputation is still bad, but in foresight, it's not as bad.
So you mentioned the show with your daughter. You guys are starring in this show together. I'm a father of a daughter. Do you have to fight back tears sometimes seeing her working as a professional actor, and you knew her when she pooped in her diapers?
We had Jeff Ross on last episode, and we did a thing about a roast, and the actual last line of my rebuttal to the roast to mine was that no matter how old I get, I'll still be cooler than you. But nobody knew when we did it in front of the live audience that I said I could never love anyone more than I love you, or could ask for one better to be my daughter than you. And everybody went like that. Oh, and then at the end I said, now sit your fat ass down.
Because you're going to keep it George Lopez at all times. I love this. I always wonder this about musicians and then about comedians. There's a wealth of things to talk about, but do you ever get in a rut where you're like, I got no material? Are you?
Yeah. I think, when I was more abusive to myself, the material just flowed. I remember writing things that I thought were the funniest things in a nightclub. Like, give me some space, man. I got to write this down.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, I could not make out what it was. So I think now starting and writing the way most people would, I think is kind of good. I never thought really at 63 I would have hair like this, nor would I have the opportunities that I have.
I saw you went on that podcast with Marshawn Lynch, Gavin Newsom. I'm sorry, I forget the third guy. Is that as weird of an experience as it sounds like it would be?
I mean, the governor, he and I have been friends maybe 10 years. He's always on point as a governor. He never really kind of gets too involved in the topic. But then in the next window, you see Marshawn smoking marijuana at the same time that you're talking about your show, and then the same time you're talking about your daughter. You just see the smoke, and then beast mode kind of appears, and then he kind of disappears, and then he kind of appears again. And then at the end, he says something really amazing, and it's the end of the hour.
So I'll take that as a yes. It is as weird as it seems like it to be.
But it's a good weird. It's a good weird. So you got 2 shows coming up at the Hard Rock, yeah?
Yeah.
Tickets
So
available?
I'm shooting a special at the end of the month at Dolby. So this is a lot of the new stuff, and then Hard Rocks have
cool.
great showrooms, all that. So I have some history in Sacramento. I think it's a great place. I didn't know you guys had your own port. Oh, that's impressive.
It's exciting, isn't it? It's exciting.
Great arena, great basketball team, great, just great everything.
Yeah.
Thank you, George Lopez. Appreciate you, man.
2 shows at the Hard Rock, September 21st. You got tickets on our website, gooddaysacramento.com. Show info and today's date. Thanks, George.
Let's just say, him and Gavin Newsom, there's not 2 sets of hair better than that.
That's
true.
Good.
So good.
In the same podcast.